I hope everybody can hear me and can see at least. Or if you cannot, you may use the chat. Right. First of all, thank you very much for being here for our class to continue our session. And just to note that this is already week 8, right? So we have gone through the first, in the beginning of the semester, the 5 lecture face-to-face. And then we already continue I think about 3 videos, 3 online video in May. And for today, we will continue our discussion, right? As I have highlighted earlier and agreed with the group that our lecture will be conducted through video recording. I believe all of you have already seen the video through YouTube link, and some of you have already, I think majority have already commented, asked questions, and there are a few that I haven't managed to reply yet. So I hope it is effective, or if it is not effective, you may also pass the question through WhatsApp or direct to me. Okay, and for today's session, for this afternoon session, we will discuss a topic on it is called the important customer and market needs. So, but before we have the session, I would like to hear any issues or any problems that all of you are facing. Is there anything that anybody would like to share? Difficulties to continue with the online session?
So far, okay, Prof. So this will be the fixed time every week?
Yeah, we will try to stick to the scheduled timetable. Okay, from 6 till 9. Obviously, we will, if not, it will disturb the rest of the timetable because some of you also are taking other courses, right? Is there any other thing? No? Okay. I believe if you are quiet means that everything is okay. Okay, let me just share with you my screen. Let me just click it. Okay. Can you see the slides, right?
Yes.
Okay. So for today, we will look into the important customer and market needs. Basically, this is another set of activity that you are going to do. Again, even though it is meant for group work, but since this we are doing it online, I suggest that I would like to convert the group work into individual work. But you can obviously use, you can discuss, you can have the same answer for individuals effort. Um, um, so what are the things that you need to do? Basically, once we finish this particular session, there are a few things that you need to complete, kind of like an activity, similar like what we did for the CVP, even though the CVP are based on the group effort, but I ask you to submit individually. Okay, so let me just clear this so that I can see the whole. Okay, right. What you have here in front of on the screen is things that you need to identify before we go into detail or preparing the business proposal. Well, basically you need to look into the needs of customer as well as the market needs. So each group or each company need to be able to identify your target customers. Who are your end customer, or is it that the end users are your customer, right? So is it that the people who use the product at the end of the day going to be the paymaster? All right. So each group need to brainstorm, right? You may have a large pool of targeted customers, or you have a specific group of customers that are going to be your target. So I would like you to identify, meaning that at the end of this session, I will you are required to prepare this particular information. Identify your target customer. It can be a group of people. It can be uh, uh, a large pool of people. But at the end of the day, right, the whether to define the customer, right, the customer is the people who are going to pay. For example, like as simple as you buy nasi lemak. Again, example of nasi lemak, right? So the end user is the same people that pay, okay, because they, for example, like we go to a restaurant and then we pay to the restaurant owner the food, that the nasi lemak that we bought, and basically the person who pay is the customer, right? But there are cases the person who pay are not the end user. For example, like I bought the nasi lemak for my children, so the end user is my children, right? But the important customer is me, because I'm the one who do the payment. All right. So similarly with other product, you need to really look whether who are your customers. All right. And you may break it down. You may provide a few example. For example, like if your product is targeted to universities, lecturer, right? Is it that the lecturer themselves are going to be the paymaster? Probably not. Probably the paymaster is the administrator, the dean, or the registrar, or the university owner, the vice chancellor. So what is important is that we want to identify the end user, the people who use our product, or at the same time the set of group of people who are going to do the payment, okay, who decide that yes, they want to buy our product or not. Is there any question about this?
No, Prof. Clear.
No,
No.
no
Clear,
problem.
very clear. Okay, so each group need to identify their target customers, and everybody need to, you can have the same answer, of course. I expect the same answers coming from everybody, but everybody need to submit it later on. I will provide the description on how to do it later on. Let us move on to the next slide. Okay. Right. Oops, this is C, this is B. Okay. What are the criteria for deciding what is important to the customer, or what is interesting customer needs? So you need to be able to identify now um, the important criteria on deciding, yes, this is important to our customer, or this is less important. It's just it is important to you but not to the customer. For example, like when you want to decide the materials or the finishing of the product, is it is it the need of the customer, or is it for aesthetic look. Some decision making, you need to relate back whether is it value add to the end product. Some customer prefer different texture. Some customer also pay attention to ergonomics. Some customer need to have certain features on their or function on their product. Is it important for them? And how you as the company or the designer need to decide the criteria, right? So each product or each company need to decide the decision criteria on deciding what is important, not just interesting customer needs, right? So you may I have already given example just now: material, texture, the ergonomics, function, probably cost, and other things. So I would like you to discuss among yourself, as well as and then provide the list of criteria that you are going to use in terms of deciding what is important, uh, not just interesting customer needs. Okay, so any feedback or question on this matter? You can share with for example, like look at your product, and then whether you can come up with such criteria. Anyone?
Prof, when we list down the criteria, do we identify them as important, and some are just interesting but not part of as important? Do we list down the everything and then we filter it? Like, do we show that in our report?
Yes, actually, first step is just to brainstorm, right? Things that you feel that it is important for the customer or just interesting to the customer, and then you may from there you may classify it in terms of the criteria to decide. Yes, this is important. No, this is just interesting to customer, or this is just additional option. Okay? So I would like you to 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 have a go, try to think about it. Okay. Later, I will try to relate this activity into the final business proposal. Okay, when we want to prepare the soon in a few week time, so you are going to prepare the business proposal and the final assignment for this particular course. But this is just an activity to help the final item later on. Okay, can we continue?
Prof,
Yes, bro.
Yes, yeah.
normally the criteria, they have some, what do you call it, a limitation
What
to
do you
list
mean?
the criteria. The limitation, I mean, cannot more than 10 or
Oh, no,
cannot
no.
less than 5.
It is open. You can have only 2 criteria. You can also have 20 criteria. Okay, so you probably is best, since everybody are not meeting each other, right? You can either each group just individually you list down the criteria that you think that is important, and then combine with the rest of the team and see the whole picture. And some of it probably the same. For example, like texture just now. Um, some may put rough texture, maybe it is soft, is it have grips, or what, a water absorbent or whatever. So that is on the aspect of the texture. Maybe so you can have as many criteria that you want, but you later decide as a group what are the most important criteria that you want to decide on your final product. Okay,
Okay.
because at the end of the day, it's not about what the designer wants, what the company wants. It's actually what the customer wants, right? So it is quite difficult because we we uh, we just trying to guess what the customer wants. Okay, so in actual case, you when you do the market survey, when you do the uh, uh, some product require clinical trial, or you give out a free trial version to potential customers, you will then get the actual feedbacks. But for the sake of the exercise, we need to do a lot of assumptions. Okay, so the thing that we expect the customer think that this is important, so we need to justify. Right? For example, like not just saying, okay, because the first criteria is on the aspect of ergonomic. So why do you think it is important? And probably you need to do some justification when you decide that is the important criteria. Is it okay? Are you?
Okay, Prof. Clear. Thank you.
And anything else from the rest? If you still have the question, you may ask later. And I have recorded this particular session, and I will put it on YouTube, and we can digest it much better later on. All right, because sometimes um, your digestion is working only in the morning, for example. Some people, they can only absorb things now, but they can really understand later at night. Okay. All right. All right. So let's move to the third slide. Okay. Um, right. The third thing that you need to do is basically brainstorm and list the customer needs that you can identify. So we have, let me just go back to the first one first. Okay, the first slide, identify your target customer, right? This is quite a clear cut. You identify your target customer. Then you decide the criteria of deciding what is important or not just or interesting to customer needs. And then the third item is you list the customer needs that you can identify. The part B just now is the criteria, and then the C is the customer needs based on your group product. Okay, so I probably has already give example of the customer needs just now. It's not just the criteria, it's the customer needs. So it's basically some of the information that I provide earlier. It falls under this part C. Okay, list the customer needs that you can identify, and you may elaborate more on it. Okay, I will just keep talking unless there are questions. Right? Then finally, on the part D, okay, you will then identify the customer needs that you can meet product or service for ability to address use. For example, like um, um, let's say you have already identified 5 customer needs, right? And whether you need to rank, okay, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you have 20 customer needs, right? And ability to address in terms of the capability of the company, right? So obviously you can list a lot of the needs, but some of the needs you can address it internally. Some of it you may outsource it. For example, like you put a rank from 1, 2, 3, and 4. For example, like 1, fully capable of addressing now. Like for example, like you have already identified your you have your company, you have 3 manpower or 4 manpower, and you can address the packaging. For example, the customer needs a proper packaging for their product. So it is fully capable of addressing now. Or you may find out that, okay, we have the capability, but we need to do something about it. It is able to address internally with some work. You need to do some additional work, and then need help from external source to address. You need to outsource some item, for example, like you don't have the capabilities to do sterilization. So you may want to address it outsource, or you can outsource it from other company, or you if you are assembling a product that requires some sensors, some um, uh, programming that you are not capable to do it in-house, you can outsource it, right? So, and finally, the category 4 is do not see how we can address. So from all the item you list in part C, and the slide C just now, okay, you rank it according to priority, and then the ability to address. Obviously, at this particular moment is just to identify the strength as well as the weakness of the company. Right? When you do your company portfolio, your business proposal later on, it is ideal to highlight the strength of the company, that what you can do in-house. Obviously, we do not want to say that, okay, everything can be done in-house. We are expert in everything from doing preparing the raw material, we prepare the product, and then we do all the programming. We have all our own chips, and we do the marketing ourselves. So you have A to Z. So normally companies don't do that. Even for big companies, right, like Rolls-Royce, right? So when they produce their gas turbine engine, it's not 100% by Rolls-Royce. It is consists of partnership with many other companies that provide certain components, certain processes throughout the world. And it is a world player, a global player of making gas turbine engine. So they are not doing it by themselves 100%. So you imagine a big company like Airbus, like Rolls-Royce, like any other big company, even Intel, they don't do everything by themselves. They outsource it. So that's why it's very important for you to put it in such way where in your business proposal later on, what are the things that you can do in-house? What are the things that you can do partially in-house by addressing or doing certain internal work? Because some product, when you buy the component off shelf, over the shelf, and then you need to do something with it, then you can integrate it with your product. Okay, so or some of it is totally outsourced. Okay, it's category number 3 just now. Okay, so any questions so far?
No, Prof. Clear.
Okay, so since it is clear, so I hope you are ready to do your own. The rest, is it okay? Everybody else are quiet. I will put this particular slide in the Putra Blast as well as the video. Okay, and if there is no question about this particular activity, because I call this an activity, right? Obviously, you need to do, every group need to do A, B, C, and D, right? And you can have the same answer for each member of the group, but everybody should submit on their own. Okay, is that clear? Right, because
Okay.
okay, so the other thing is that okay, I assume we can wrap up this particular session for this topic on important customer and market needs? Is it okay?
Yes, okay, Prof.
Okay. It doesn't mean that you cannot ask anything after this in the WhatsApp group or in the YouTube link. So it's just to say that yes, okay, we have covered the instruction on the activity, and everybody sort of understand what's going on, and you can start doing it. Once you do start doing it, then you realize, oh, why, how to do this, or what is it okay just to list down 4 or 5. So as I said earlier, it is open-ended. The more information you put, meaning that you can have more experience doing it. It's just, you can just put, you can just identify 5 customer need like what we have on this particular slide, or you can expand it to have more, right? So I leave it to you in order for you to discuss among your group. Probably you can have your own online session. There are many platforms to use. Probably I'm very familiar with Zoom. That's why I still use Zoom. Okay, even though UPM has already subscribed to WebEx, but I found out that WebEx are not that user friendly. It's very difficult to do the recording and have a nice view like this. Google Meet also good, but I'm not familiar with it. Okay, so I assume everybody are okay. Let me just stop sharing. Right. Okay. Those who are not, don't have any pictures, and then you are muting yourself. I hope you are still there. Okay. So,
Yes,
but
Prof.
okay.
Yes, Prof.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
we are here.
We hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Zulfikri want to say anything?
I think Hazrul is asking you, but he's typing on the message.
Okay. I miss out the chat. Right. Number below table is the ability to address for the service that we provide. Right. Number below table. Oh yes. Okay. The table that just open it back. Okay. Right. This is the one, right? The number, the 1, 2, 3, 4 are basically you assess whether you can address the customer need in-house, or you need to do, you means the company, the company able to address internally, as well as whether you need help from external source to address the customer need. So, and you can also put 4 because you don't have any capability, you also do not know who can help you in terms of addressing the customer need. So this is just like a role play. We try to see whether the company are able to address all the customer needs, or you can address it partially. All right. I hope that answer Hazrul's question. Okay. Right. Example, our company Airbus produce turbine. So produce a turbine service. Okay, less noise, cheap price, less energy consumption. So what is the question, Hazrul? Then the priority kena letak number below table tu ke? Yes. So for example, like the customer would like to have customer needs. They want a less noise engine, right? Cheap price, less energy consumption. So ability to address whether the company can able to address the noise issue. Okay. Company customer need cheap price. Obviously, it's quite difficult to produce a cheap price. Energy consumption. So how are you going to do? You address it. So basically, you put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right hand side column. Okay. So if you still have any doubt, you can ask question, more question on you give your product description. You may send to me directly, and then I can also give out my comments. Okay. Let me just okay. I believe that let us try it first. Okay, everybody, each group try to look at it, and then at the same time, if you still have questions, you may post it directly to me through WhatsApp or email me, and then maybe you have like a draft of your answer. Okay. Obviously, there's no right or wrong, because this is just an activity. Soon, when you do your business proposal, you will find out that okay, this is related. This is important information for you to include in your company profile, and so on. So I hope everybody is clear, and if it is not clear, it's okay. Okay, it's good that you are not clear, and then you may ask question, right? And when you ask question, you learn better, right? Okay. We will have another soon. I will put in the Putra Blast this particular video, as well as the slides, so that you can use it as a template. At the same time, I will try to return to you your CVP analysis, the feedbacks. I've just completed returning back my undergraduate course. There are 61 students, so they already have 4 assignments. You imagine about 240 plus assignment to mark and then return it via online. Quite tricky. So at the end of the day, I just mark it on a PDF and return it in Putra Blast. No, not Putra Blast, in WhatsApp. So everybody are trying to find their matrix number. So in our class, we have quite small number. It's okay. So I've done on the undergraduate. I'm very sorry that I couldn't return back your 2 assignment. So we already have activity 1 as well as activity 2. Okay. So I will return it back, and then we will have this is the third activity before we proceed to number 4, and then the final will be the business proposal. Okay. And you also have a video that you are going to do at the end of this particular course. So we will come to that stage and then explain it later on. Okay. So if there is nothing else, anybody have any questions?
No problem. All clear.
Okay. So if everything okay, so everybody can enjoy your dinner. Okay, early dinner today. For those who are berpuasa, boleh buka puasa later on. Okay, and I think it's not too late to wish Selamat Hari Raya for verbally. So to progress, it's not. I think it's good also. It's quite strange just to put Selamat Hari Raya on the WhatsApp and so on. I think I would like to wish everybody Selamat Hari Raya, Maaf Zahir Batin, and then hope that everybody still have the motivation to continue. Obviously, it is quite difficult and tough. It's not just for the student, also it's for us, the lecturer. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any problem, don't be shy to WhatsApp me directly. If you have any suggestion, so that we can improve the delivery. I'm more welcome for any suggestion. All right. So as highlighted by Azinuddin, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just trying to learn. Okay, so if there's nothing else, take care, everybody. A couple of more days to go for our the movement control order, and just to let you know that we are going to continue our online courses until the end of the semester, and most likely the following semester also going to be online. So it's quite unfortunate, but we hope the best. The government can try to adjust and hope that everything will be clear and go back to normal as soon as possible. So, but for the time being, the mode of classes will be until it will be online until end of semester 1 this year. Now we are in semester 2. We have semester 1 starting October until January. So we will have face-to-face hopefully by February. Okay. Examination also.
Thank you, Professor.
Final exam. Most likely in our class we will have no examination, but it's going to be presentation and video and the business proposal. That would be your final examination mark. I think that would be good rather than having examination like this. Everybody doing exam. It's quite weird. It is controllable if we have about 13 or 12 students. Imagine you have 60, 100 students. So maybe someone else are doing the examination. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much, and I hope everybody stay safe, stay at home, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Prof.